Hi, this is part 4 of the character drawing series. We left off with drawing the legs, and now we'll draw a foot. Now you may have a shoe or a foot, regardless. Let's go here and click on Leg Front in the Layers palette, and then click New Layer, Vector, and name it Foot or Shoe Front. I'm going to zoom in here, and he does have some pretty complicated shoes. Of course, I won't show you that. Oh, and I can see that I need to extend that bottom of the pants there, which is fine. That's not a problem. And remember, if you do make a change to one thing, you need to do it to the other. For example, when I fix the bottom of the pants here on this one, then I need to do a similar thing on the other one. The image of your character may have the feet facing in different directions. You're going to have 2 feet that face the same direction. So whichever one you copy from, pick the one that seems to be the most in a 3/4 view, as though the foot is pointing the same way the character is facing. I'm not going to draw this foot in a lot of detail, but I will show you that you should have some overlap. So I'm using the Add Point tool, and I'm drawing along, and I'll match up basically with the shape of this shoe. I can add all kinds of embellishments to that later on. But what you want to do is make sure you have enough, and let me close that off. You want to make sure that you have enough that it overlaps so that it can be behind the leg. Let me click here. Now right now my foot layer just happens to be in front of that front leg. I can just drag that down over here in the layers palette. Okay, and obviously I would need to change the color and maybe add little lines or what have you, and you can do that with Add Point, or you could even use the freehand tool and draw little shapes in there like that. And again, if you have something like an animal and the leg and the foot kind of all go together, you can still do what I've shown here. You just might end up wanting to match up the edges a little bit more closely. Let me grab the right point. You might just want to match up your edges a little bit more closely. And once we do the bone rigging next week, you'll see how you can make it all fit together a little bit better. So you would do that, and once you get a foot or a shoe that you're really happy with and you feel like, okay, I don't think I'm going to need to make any changes on this, then you'll just go over here to the Layers palette, and with that foot layer selected, you'll click on Duplicate, and then with the duplicate, you'll name that foot back or shoe back. Okay, and then that you drag down here below the back leg and click on Transform Layer and move it there and a little bit higher than the front shoe or the front foot. Okay, I know mine looks pretty stupid right now because I didn't even change the color, but you get the idea. Okay, I'll zoom out now and let's have a look at what's going on for the head. All right, you should get in real close to your character's head. All the parts of the head will need to go in a bone folder nested inside your character's main bone folder. So click on New Layer, Bone, name that head, and then let's start making layers for it. New Layer, Vector, and you could call this head shape. Okay. Now make sure that you take this head shape layer, drag it inside the head bone folder there. Everyone's going to have a completely different head shape, so I won't take a lot of time showing you what to do. But if you've got a head shape that's kind of oval, you're best off starting out with the Draw Shape and the Oval tool. And let me pick something other than blue that will look horrible. So there I've got an oval that I can work with point by point. Okay. If I need to add points, I should add points. All right. Now the hair is going to be separate, so imagine the hair isn't there, and your character may or may not have hair. But here, I'll move this over here like this. And actually, I wouldn't want the head shape to go quite that far up because I want the hair to extend a little beyond that. So I might push that in and take into account that I'm going to be, like drawing a wig on a separate layer. Also, you don't need to see that neck part. And the way to avoid that problem is simply taking your bone folder for the head and dragging it up above. Well, you can just put it just below the drawing of your image for now. So then if your character has hair, you want to go new layer, vector, type hair, make sure it's in the head bone folder. You'd want it on top of the head shape, and you'd start drawing your hair. So I paused and very quickly threw in something for the hair there just so you could see. So I've got hair and head shape. And you can draw the eyes and the eyebrows on the same layer. So you'd click new layer, vector, and you could put eyes and brows. And you would put those on that layer. Again, I'm not going to waste your time showing you how to draw eyes and brows. I think you can figure that out by now. So I threw these in there. They go on a layer. And then you can make one more layer, vector, and you could do the mouth by itself. You can make a whatever character mouth you have. And the nose depends on what type of nose you have. You could either do that by itself on a layer or even add it to the head shape layer. So you'll have at least that many: mouth, eyes and brows, hair, and the head shape with nose. If you have ears that stick out, and I don't, but if you have ears that stick out, you should make another layer called ears, right? Vector, ears, and keep that all inside this bone folder for the head. And don't forget to check frequently by turning off the layer for your image so that you can see how yours actually looks without that image there behind it, because once you're done making your character, of course, you'll be deleting that image. So inside the head bone folder, you should have a mouth layer, eyes and brows layer, a hair layer if your character has hair, ears if your character has ears that stick out, and the head shape with even the nose drawn on it. Have all of this ready. I'll pause and continue in the next video.